Part of the whole RV. When everybody walks in, the sign, do not grow up because it's a trap. It's kind of our motto. It's what we live by.
Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So if you can hear absolutely anything at all, there is a cockerel that will not stop cockerelling. So occasionally you're going to hear a little noise. It's not a sound effect, it is a literal cockerel. Anyway, so I have been on a bit of a roll recently with just watching loads of van life, family, traveling people over on TikTok, and these guys did keep on being recommended to me along with like family of nomads, etc, etc. However, I didn't really look into them too much because I wasn't entirely sure what they were even called until I then did a little bit more digging, and they're called tryNsomethingnew, and you have the dad called Jimmy and the mum called Sandy, and they live in an RV with, how many is it? I think there's 3 kids and a dog. Anyway, so I have done some really surface level looking because there are a couple things which just questionable side eyes, you know what I mean? There's some absolute just basic understanding of these guys. Like I just said, 3 kids, 2 husband and wife. They used to live, in their own words, they had a 3,000 square foot house. I have seen just in passing them showing some footage of their old house. The dad does kind of mention, like, they mention having a lot of things such as going over, you know, all the new stuff that's in the RV, whatever it is. Kind of going, you know, the wife had like tons and tons of things, and there were loads of different closets or whatever, like upstairs. Anyway, it makes it sound like they were quite well off. The dad also goes on about all the different type of, like, I don't know, just equipment that they used to have, like kind of garage equipment. It makes it sound like they were quite well off. I have no idea what they used to do beforehand. Like I said, this is extremely surface level, and why I really wanted to talk about this is because I just found a couple of things. So a lot of what I'm gonna be talking about is actually from a video that they did about 4 years ago, where they were showing what their RV looks like. Now, to my knowledge, they've changed it since then. So now, you know, stereotypical of quite a lot of these family channel vlogging RV people is that they have bunks for the kids, and obviously the very bottom one is going to be like some sort of a coffin thing. There was actually a clip of the mum did in TikTok asking the kids what are the worst things about which bunk they're on. So, you know, the top bunk, middle bunk, and bottom bunk.
Right, so here's part 2. What do the kids hate about their bunks? Let's start with Sky.
I hate that in the middle of the night the heat rises up here and it gets so hot, and I have to scream, "Mommy, turn the air on."
Alright, next.
There is nothing that I hate about my bunk bed. I love it.
Alright, and Ryder.
The thing that I hate about my bed is it's like a little coffin down here.
I've also read on video titles and descriptions that they do unschooling, which is not a form of homeschooling. It's not a form of traditional schooling. It is somewhere in the middle where basically you learn through life, if that makes any sense. Quite similar to Family of Nomads, Family Fizz fam, whoever, whatever, they do it as well. You hear it quite a lot. And the funny thing is, I'd never ever heard of the term unschooling. Not shade, no throwing shade, but I'd never heard of it until I started watching family vloggers. And now it seems like the thing that they all seem to do. Anyway, so their kids do that, and I do believe this is what they do for a full-time living.
I'm gonna give you an amazing tour of the RV and
Let you in on why we chose this lifestyle. And if you're interested, you can too.
And this is my 49th time driving the RV. Oh no.
You better watch where you're driving because you're going on the wrong side of the road.
We're gonna go back and eat some lunch, so keep going.
Alright. Take care of us, girl.
So in this video, in the very first opening clip, they have the mum and the dad there, and then they have the 2 other kids. They then have one of their kids, who, by the way, is not very old. They are a small child driving this RV, driving them around. Look, I'm sure I've read a few comments and they're like, well, you know, when I was a child, I was allowed to drive this tractor. When I was I'm like, okay. I just can't quite wrap my head around the fact that this small child might be going quite slowly. It's moving. It's got all their things in it. It's got a dog in it. It's got the other kids in it. I'm just a bit like, what is going on here? So you can see by the opening of this video, it really got my interest. I'm a little bit like, okay, all right. I know you get this whole, like, you know, be young and free and do whatever you want vibe going on, but this is a little bit too much for me. This child is quite young and they are driving the RV. They're driving it around with everyone inside it, and I'm just a bit like, oh gosh, what is going on? And I could only ever see one comment actually pointing this out. Everyone else just moves on. It's like, have we just watched the same thing?
It'd be great to have them have a connection with these mementos and these memories rather than buying a bunch of toys that we end up just giving to the Goodwill in 6 months anyway, because there's no room for them here in the RV. So that's another great thing about living in an RV is there's not a lot of room in here. So every time we go to the toy store, Walmart or whatever, I'm like, sorry kids, we can't necessarily buy that because we don't have any room for it.
Okay, I understand the statement, I really do, in the fact that like you can't buy your kids everything they want, like, you know, and bearing in mind these guys travel full time, you can't go everywhere you want, you can't be like, right, okay, I'm gonna get this toy from here, get this toy from there, because you've got nowhere to put it, right? But the problem is with this is that they're just saying like, yeah, I mean, we've like basically do not buy our kids toys in this little bit, which I suppose would have to work for you if you live in such a confined space. However, because they are, you know, unschooled and they are, you know, traveling around all the time and maybe they don't have as many friends. This is just from my own observation of watching a lot of these van life people. You know, I feel like being a kid is having toys, is having some things. And I do get it. Maybe that's just me sounding quite privileged, but it was the kind of batting away, being like, well, you know, instead of having toys, we have, you know, memorabilia of all the places that we've been. And I just feel that, I don't know, just me personally, having a few bits and bobs is all good. However, the guy was then saying, you know, at the end, he was showing kind of in the outside space and like an outside locker of the RV, there was a place for their toys. Bearing in mind there are 3 of them, there wasn't that much, and you know, toys are not everything, so please don't go thinking that, you know, my kids have bundles and bundles of toys and all of this kind of stuff. I just know that having toys and having stuff to play with is such a good thing for a kid. It's one of those things that I remember when I was younger, you know, playing make-believe with all the different things, and of course every kid is different, but I think when you choose to live in such close confinement, you have to make those difficult decisions, and I'm sure there is a way of you being able to have all the different toys that your children need, but I feel like that emphasis was very much just on, well, no, you know, we need the memorabilia from where we've been, we need the stickers, we need the whatever on the map, you know, we don't need toys. And I feel like that's not really putting your kids first.
So apparently had to go to the bathroom. So he's
Let's see what's going on in here. What are you doing, dude? You're ruining our video shoot.
Okay, so all jokes aside, I really, really wish I was like joking about this, but they basically just opened, like the dad was just like, oh, let's see what he's doing in there, and then opens it. And if you actually watch the full clip, which obviously I'm not going to show because I'm repulsed by it, like the little boy was just trying to freaking do what he had to do in the toilet, and you're opening up the door and you're sharing it. I feel like this is a massive breach and no one seemed to be talking about it. It's one thing to know that your child is trying to use the bathroom and then walk in there anyway. It's another thing for you to just post it online. Like, are you trying to be some like cool, quirky parents where it doesn't really matter? It doesn't really matter, guys. We're all completely open. Would it even matter? It's like, well, it should matter to you. To me, I don't think that's quirky parenting. I think that's actually quite gross, and you shouldn't be posting your child just trying to get on with what he wants to do. I honestly, yeah, from that moment, I was a bit like, okay, what is going on? And also the dad as well. The dad, okay, I tried giving these guys the benefit of the doubt. I know it sounds absolutely awful. I tried giving the benefit of the doubt until I saw that bit with the child. I then just kind of started seeing them for what they were, this sort of walking, talking advertisement. And I started to notice little things, such as they actually have the name of their brand printed on their bus, which many people might think's okay. I, on the other hand, think it's basically just a way of saying, hey, my children live here. I don't like it. They're extremely popular over on TikTok and Instagram, YouTube, sorry. And I'm just not sure why you'd want to advertise the fact that your kids live there. if you just see that strolling around, you'll just think, oh, it's a company, I know. But if you're in the know and you watch the family for any sort of lewd purposes, which is disgusting to think of, why would you be advertising it? This is where you live. This isn't you know, it's not an adventure bus. This is where you live, guys. You can't go advertising it like that. And the thing is that I had a little look on the page on TikTok, and the mum and daughter do dancing videos, and the dancing videos are extremely innocent. I will say that, extremely innocent. The comments are not. I had a little scroll down through some of the comments, and some of the comments are disgusting, obviously aimed at the daughter. And not only that, the mum is also liking them. And I can't understand why. Are they just liking just for engagement? Are they not actually reading these comments? Because some of these comments are ultra lewd. I will also say as well is that not to try and sexualize a child, because heaven knows that is not what I'm trying to do right now. But what I have noticed is that the daughter is nearly always in shorts and sort of not a lot of clothing. And I'm not trying to say anything. I didn't think anything of it. I didn't think anything of it until I read the comments. And then I started to see the other side of it. And I'm just like, love, you need a wake-up call. The mum needs a wake-up call. They need a massive wake-up call. They've got their names plastered on the side of where their kids live. And these are the kind of comments that they are getting on their mother and daughter dancing videos. One person said, can I take your daughter out for a day? Other people saying she is kind of bad. Someone else saying, what is her @ for research? Which basically means, you know, how do I find her? How do I find her socials? Just asking for a friend, even though it's not, it's just for them. Someone else said, it's not cute to have your underage child shaking her bum on social media. Someone said, Brian said, your daughter looks fine. Another person said, Mac, your daughter is so fine. I know. Then someone came to the defense and said, if you are older than 17, just know she is a child. Someone else said, your daughter is fine. Is she single? And the creator liked it. This is another situation where the creator liked someone basically saying, your daughter's quite cute. Someone else saying, I was going to say the same thing. The thing is, I don't know whether or not the mum is reading it and not caring, or if she is not reading those comments, but I'm just going to let you know, it isn't good. I don't really know what the hell is going on, but am I the only person to notice what is happening here? Obviously not. I've just read out a couple comments where people are getting a little bit sneaky suspicious, but already I just have a really bad taste in my mouth. I don't know what is going on, but I think the mum really needs to reassess what she's doing when she's making this kind of content, when she's deciding to do that, because some of those comments are not nice, and some people seek out that kind of content from children, and it's not good. It's one of the things that I talk about quite a lot. It happens. Parents need to be aware of it. I mean, parents need to not put their children on the internet in that context. I mean, in that quantity all the time. You know, van life, living in your RV, if you live in a confined space, I don't actually have an issue with it. If you live in a confined space, that's all well and good. Do what you want to do. But the problem is, when it becomes your full-time income, when your full-time income is basically recording your children, living in a confined space, where can those children go? Where do they have to go? They can't get away from it. They're unschooled, homeschooled, whatever. And it basically, to my eyes, just seems like the parents' idea of what they really, really wanted to do. Their kids are along for the journey. Kids love adventures. Kids love doing things. But spending that amount of time with your family, being recorded, being used for ad sponsorships, when your only source of income is to do with your family, and the only way for you to make a lot of money is through your kids, that is where the issue lies. And I feel like with a lot of these, not only family vloggers, van life family vloggers, you're taking family vlogging and you are honing them in. They're in an extremely small space. They can't get away from it. They're not going to a school. They can't escape from it day to day. And I feel like that is the worst form of family vlogging you can do. And I always stand by that. There are quite a few of these guys about, and I'm not saying that every single thing that they do is awful, because that's not it at all. You know, I'm not adverse to people going traveling, people doing what they want to do. I don't care about that. But what I do have an issue with is the way that it's become such a big trend to want to just pack up your kids, isolate them from everyone else, and get them on the road and vlog them and film them and use them for content. And that is the problem we have here. I massive side eye, completely and utterly sneaky suspicious over what the hell is going on with that woman's TikTok. I don't understand it. I don't think they should have filmed that. They should not have filmed their kid in the toilet. Like, what is the matter with you? And the beginning bit with the kid driving, I'm just like, what is happening? Like, I kind of get this feeling like these guys want to be these kind of like really carefree parents, but it's just coming across as extremely ignorant. And that's just what I want to say. Anyway, I do hope you guys massively enjoyed this one. New people to cover. I hope you guys have a wonderful day wherever you are in this world. Take care of each other, take care of yourselves, and I'll catch up with you guys in the next video.